We live.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Love and Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Wendy O, and I'm with my amazing co-host, Hotep Jesus. How are you doing tonight, Hotep?
I'm doing marvelous. Doing great. Thank you for asking. It's great to be here. Shout out to Wendy O. Could you hear that?
I did. That's why I'm like, what is this man on tonight?
We here, baby.
Before we get started, I need to ask you something.
Okay.
I popped on Twitter maybe last week.
All right.
And I see, and I know you had a little trip you were going on. I was like, okay. So I go on Twitter and I see a picture of Hotep Jesus wearing a very nice button-up shirt. It was buttoned down a little bit, and he's got two women on his side.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, hell no.
Nah, that was the homie Phil Foster. That was his wife and his daughter.
Okay.
They're supporters of mine, and they said we can't leave here without taking a picture with Hotep Jesus. So they posted and tagged me, and I shared it to Twitter, expecting the welcome I did get, knowing that people would take it out of context, and of course they did. And I'm like, damn, I can't even share a picture.
Well, it's more engagement for you.
Yeah, definitely man, more engagement.
So when you get more engagement, is that the goal here, is to get more engagement?
It's one of a goal. It's probably like a mini goal towards a bigger goal.
What's the biggest goal?
Branding.
Okay.
You know, you want to brand is more important. What people know you for, your reputation, your consistency. There's more branding. From a business perspective. Of course, there's like 10-year goals and 20-year goals and things of that nature, but yeah.
And all right, because I thought it was interesting. I said, what is this man doing? I said, what is going on here?
Because, you know, they say I'm the mall whisperer, so I post a picture with a mall and it's like, it's on brand. You know what I mean?
I was dying. I was like, oh no. I was like, I need to say something, but I was like, I'm going to wait to the show. I'm going to wait to the show to talk to this man.
Nah, it was harmless. It was harmless, man. It's Phil Foster. Shout out to Phil Foster. That was his fam. So mad love. I had to speak. I was on stage. Actually, damn, I haven't spoken to you since then. I did a 45-minute set at the conference at the Venetian. It was an amazing experience. Great weekend. Very inspirational and motivating. Got a lot of networking done. Made some money. So it was good.
So what was your speech on?
Marketing and branding.
Okay.
Business development.
Okay.
Yeah. I sprinkle in a lot of entertainment with education and motivation and context. So yeah, it was a good one. Everybody said they enjoyed it, so they said I was one of the better speakers there.
You're very entertaining though when you talk.
Yeah, I try to be. Thank you.
Because you have a story and you have a point, but then you kind of sometimes you throw curveballs at me. You'll say stuff and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, you got to add that third dimension in there sometimes.
No, sometimes we'll be having a very intense conversation about a very serious topic, and then you'll toss something in. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's interesting. It's good to keep people on their toes. It's good to keep people on their toes with what kind of stuff is coming out. So we're going to talk. We got some topics we're going to talk about. I had a run-in with a feminist this week.
Oh God.
And so we'll talk about that in a second. But since we're kind of on the conversation of branding, I watched a very interesting TikTok, and this TikTok was a woman, it was a girl, and she said that influencers are out of style, but the new term for influencer, they're not looking for beautiful women or good looking people or like perfect, pristine houses. They're looking for more people to speak on social issues, people to kind of talk about day-to-day real life things and essentially kind of educate. About just different aspects of life. And I commented under that. I was like, thank goodness, because my house is a hot mess sometimes. I got my 4-year-old running around and they're looking for genufluencers. instead of influencers, like people that are being genuine about real life. Because if you go on Instagram and you see all these Instagram models, they'll be married with their family and their kids, and they've got like a perfect household. Everything is perfect, but that's not what it is in real life.
They're looking for genuine influencers, like some people that are like a little bit more real, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit dirtier. A little bit less organized.
Raw.
Crude.
They're looking for somebody who's going to be in the middle of a deep conversation that's going to be eating some Cheez-Its or Doritos with
They're looking for dirty influencers. We don't want your house to be clean. We want your house to be dirty.
No, but they're looking for people that are real. And so that kind of inspired me a little bit, because that's how I run my socials.
People
I'm very much
imperfect.
Yeah, except on Twitter, I'm not going to be on there too much because I'm getting harassed and whatever. So I'm not going to be, you won't be seeing me post on there too much about my personal stuff. But that's kind of how I grew my brand, was just being real about different things in my life. And I think it's important. You know, I talk about mental health a lot. I talk about the importance of family, the importance of, you know, being true, being honest. We also talk about the importance of masculinity on my channel, because I don't want no beta. I don't want to be around no beta man.
Look at your face. It's like, ugh.
Because I'm surrounded. I mean, if you go like in the area I work in, the sector I work in is betas. That's all it is. It's just beta males, and they don't care for women. They don't care for. It's just a very bizarre thing.
They don't care for women.
No.
Really?
Oh, come on. They're not interested in women, or they're interested in like cartoon character looking women, like anime women.
Oh, like the flurries. I mean, the furries.
What is a furry?
Uncle Hotep told me about these people that dress up like animals, and they love on each other just as animals or something like that. I think they call them flurries or furries or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's a genre of attraction, I think. Don't ask me any more questions, because that's all I know. All I know is they dress up like animals and they like each other.
So I guess that's what I'm taking from that is that's kind of saving the animals, because it's taking
Oh, so people won't be humping on the animals?
Yes.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Save the whales. Oh my God.
I mean, that's a key takeaway I'm getting from it.
Somebody said Jessica Rabbit was bad. Oh man.
Well, Jessica Rabbit was a baddie.
Double 88 199 said nothing to say, just showing love. Appreciate you. Stop grifting people. Hit the like button. Drop a super chat in here too. Baby need new shoes. Oh man.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a topic I want. Oh, do you want to hear about the boxing gym? Or you want to hear about?
Yeah, let's hear about. Yeah, what's up with the boxing gym?
Okay, so she had a little turn-up event for the kids. I mean, of course, you know, I had to come in. I had to donate to help cover some costs for food, because what she did, because you know, the graduations in California, they're still not having like graduations because of, you know. So and I didn't get to walk last year when I got my degree, but she had some kids that had promotions, and she had some kids that graduated from high school or going to college, and then a couple college kids that graduated. So she wanted to do a little thing for the kids. So we had like this big barbecue and whatever. And she announced to everybody, she did a whole testimony. It was like, we did a whole prayer. It was very, very beautiful. She was crying, and I almost started crying, because it was just so beautiful. But basically she got a new spot. It's the cost is going to be double what she's paying, but it's like 2 or 3 times the size. And so she's going to have her own office. She's going to have special areas where she can do like therapy things and like just split different things up. And she has her own parking lot. So she's going to be moving. And the way that it happened was, I guess this guy had heard about her in the city.
Okay.
And was looking for a tenant, but wanted to have a tenant that was going to that was doing something good in the city. So he stopped by her place and he talked to her about it. She says, let's do it. So she's going to be needing to raise like $100,000 just to kind of help get some things funded.
Yeah.
So we're going to start working on that. And once she's got her plan on how she plans to spend that, then I'm going to have you guys talk and stuff. But she's going to be moving end of, I think, September or August. She's going to be moving.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. That's beautiful. God to Miss Nita.
And for the watchers, for the viewers, she has had 0 S's with any of her kids since CV happened.
That's dope. That's dope. Hold up, where's my thing at? Where's my thing? Shout out to Miss Nita, man, doing great things in the community. We need more people like her.
Yeah, and I think what she's doing, because we talked about the tennis player, I think last time, and about the power that her movement had when she basically told the media, "F you, I'm not going to do the sit down." So it really brought awareness to mental health, and I think that we're going to start seeing more people place emphasis on mental health and whatnot. And I think that I think it's going to help. I really feel like that movement is going to kind of help Miss Nita grow what she wants to grow and empower people to, take care of themselves.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope. We gotta support people like that in the community. Shout out to the dude that really wanted to have that type of tenant in his building too. That's good. Things work out, man. I'm glad things worked out.
Yeah, it was really special though, because my husband, because he had never seen somebody do like a testimony like that. I had never seen somebody do a testimony like that too. Like she had the microphone and she was like crying and just like telling God, she's like, "God, you owe me. This is what's going to happen. We're doing this. We're a family." So my husband wasn't really used to that, but I was like, that's just, I said different people do different things. And he's like, that was beautiful. It was nice. Cause he grew up in a very Christian church growing up. So it was a good feel good thing. So first and foremost, shout out to everybody who graduated during CV. Shout out to your kids, anybody that's graduated that was not able to walk and was not able to be celebrated because of all of this BS going on with Stupid 19. Shout out to you. We're celebrating you tonight. Cheers with some water.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
All right. So you ready? You want to talk about some of the news stories? You want to talk about the feminist thing that I had an issue with?
Let's talk about the feminist thing you had an issue with first.
Okay. So people on Twitter called me out because they like to spread false lies because they don't
That's
like
what they
women.
do. Yeah.
They don't like, and I'm going to say that they don't like women because it's been happening to me since 2018 and it's always just me and whatever it is. So they can, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But so what happened was, it got kind of caught wave to TikTok, which I went ahead and I addressed to my audience. I let them know what happened, and I found out some intel about why it's happening, which I'm not going to talk about. But it's basically other people that are trying to corner the market, so they're slandering other people so they can do like really bad, scammy things. But that's a whole nother story. And so this woman on TikTok, she was following me, and then she unfollowed me, and she made a video to call me out, but she didn't tag me in it. And she's a feminist of a particular kind, which I'm not going to say. But so she called me out and she basically said, I read what happened and it wasn't because she was a woman. It was because she was doing bad things. So just know it wasn't because she was a woman. It was because she was doing bad things. But I just want to let you guys know that if you're different and you're making content, please understand that people are going to attack you and come for you. So you have to be strong. But just know the reason why she got attacked wasn't because she was a woman. And I'm reading that. I'm listening to it. And I'm like, I said 1 + 1 = 2, but this is 1 + 1 = 5. How are you going to say I wasn't attacked because I was a woman, but then you're going to say but then you're going to talk about people getting attacked because they're a POC or because they're a woman in the same video. That don't make sense.
You be watching the Wednesday night show and she don't like what you be having to say. That's what that came down to. He was like, oh, she's not on our side. Oh, screw her. And that's the thing with feminism. Feminism is very selective in who they protect. And that's what I don't like about it. Either you protect all women or you protect no women. You can't just, pick and choose and say just because I don't like the way you think that you shouldn't be protected. But that's how feminine is. It's very partisan.
Yeah, it's a very, and that's why I don't really rock with that movement, is because we have to look at things and we have to break it down. You have to look in like the kind of society that we're in. You have to look at the culture of the particular topic. There's a lot of different things you need to kind of take into consideration. And if you're gonna just go off of what one person is saying and not do your own research and not kind of really look into take a deep dive and make an assumption, you're really doing a disservice. And you shouldn't call yourself a feminist, or you shouldn't call yourself a protector of men or a protector of women or a protector of whatever it is. To me, you can't say that. You can't talk in absolutes 24/7 and then change your bias when it doesn't fit your narrative, when I don't fit your narrative, or when somebody else doesn't fit your narrative.
That's what they like to do, man. They like to pick and choose when things are acceptable or not. That's what they love to do. That's why I can never really rock with them, because it's so hypocritical.
To me, it doesn't. It does not make sense to me. It does not make sense, because there's underlying things. There's certain areas and sectors that are very, very sexist. There are very, very sexist, and if you don't want to call that out, that's fine. But don't, like, how are you going to make a video, or how are you going to make a statement but then contradict yourself?
Yo, the fact that she made a video about you was hilarious. Was this on Twitter or was it on YouTube?
It was on TikTok. She made a video, but she didn't tag me.
TikTok about you?
Yeah.
Oh, her life is miserable. Imagine like making content about another individual. It's kind of weird. It's kind of creepy almost. Wow. So you're famous now.
Yeah, people are trashing me, and really what it is doing, it is boosting my SEO. It's bringing awareness to my brand. It's having people kind of look at what happened and say, okay, well, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
So realistically, if you want to cancel somebody, the best way to cancel them is to ignore them.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, you're coming up in the world, Wendy. You got people making TikToks about you?
I do.
That's awesome.
I had one girl and two boys, and it was so funny because one of the guys, first he made a video slamming me, which that's fine. That's his personal opinion. And then he made another video about my technical analysis, calling me out, basically saying I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. And he posted this chart pattern he was going off of. So the next day, of course, his chart pattern was invalid and I was correct.
Whoops.
Hey, he left the video up, but nobody can duet, or they can't, because on TikTok you could stitch or duet it, which is really, really funny. Yeah. And he had that turned off, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, I understand it's a textbook pattern. I understand it's like 80% correct.
You was about to duet his ass, wasn't you?
Oh, I did. I made a video. I didn't even tag him in it because I blocked him because he's just an idiot. I can't, because the thing is, I'm talking to him. I'm like, this is what I'm looking at, because I trade differently. I trade using ranges, and I look for these specific areas of importance, and I mark them into ranges. And if price breaks up, then it's bull time. If price breaks down, it's bear time. And even though it was a textbook pattern, you can have your textbook patterns all you want. It's not always accurate, though. They're like 80% accurate. Yeah. But guess what? I says we're going to go up. And of course, we broke upward instead of downward, like he said. That's
what you get for talking about people, man. I don't like ugly.
That was a, isn't that an Atmosphere song?
It's something. I know that's an old saying, man. But it's probably a song. It's probably a song too.
So yeah, that has been my week. But things are good, and I've changed my business model, which we'll talk about privately. I've been talking to your people, which I appreciate the connection.
What people? Who?
To the John Corps people a little bit.
Oh, what's been going on over there?
Well, so we got I've got the thumbnail. Can I say their names?
Yes.
So I got Thomas. Thomas is doing my thumbnails, and he's helping me with SEO. And then I talked to Jordan, and he's going to be doing some articles for Wendy's white paper. We're going to be merging everything over to my website.
Okay.
And we're going to do 5 articles a week, and we're going to be offering a service to some people, which I'm not ready to announce yet, but that's going to be coming. And yeah, I'm excited about it.
I just want to be clear about something. Thomas and Jordan represent YouTubeEvolution.com. That's the name of their company. I just want to put that out there. Jean Corps is a new media outlet. we've started. Started with Jonesy, Rita, Chad, and Ant, and has evolved, and I've joined the team, and that's our new media outlet. Most of you people here are familiar with Jean Core. Mods, if you could throw, shout out to Waste of Talent Podcast, checking in the chat. Mods, if you could throw the link in the chat to Jean Core. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm glad things are working out. What about the meeting we had for your business last week? Did you think about what we talked about? Did you?
I did a little bit. So I'm going to start working on that. But I have to figure out how to do it. I got to figure out how to do it.
You scared?
I am scared. Can we tell them?
No, that's $1 million info.
Okay. I am a little bit nervous. I got some ideas, but listen, I've been attacked consistently since last Friday. Okay. I have been attacked consistently online since last Friday. Okay. Give me a break. Give me a break. But I guess that's part of me evolving and becoming a powerhouse, because everybody I'm working with could care less. And they just want Wendy. That's what they want. And my audience doesn't care. It's a beautiful thing. Working on it. Baby steps.
I just want to see results, Wendy.
You know what, Hotep?
You're being a woman.
Well, last time I checked, I did deliver a child about 4 years ago.
Are you a birthing person?
You know what? I'm not interested in tossing paws with anybody, but if somebody calls me a birthing person, I will toss paws, okay?
The chat says you look good tonight.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That's all that stress.
It said something about your hair. What else did they say? They said something about your hair and it looks different tonight or something. I don't know.
It's clean.
You washed it?
I washed it last night.
Where is it? Wendy looks different tonight. Looking good, says LP.
Shout out to LP. LP is one of the Wendy O supporters.
Is he?
I believe so.
Oh, dope. LP checking in, showing some love.
Yeah. All right. And you know what? We do have to have another meeting, because I do want to trade some content with John Core and trade some crypto content for some personal finance content, and with the articles and whatnot.
Matt said it must be the hair, but Wendy looks like a young mom in the 70s. She's got that look. She do got that 70s look. She look like a hippie, yo. You got the tattoos and the long hair. You look like Alanis Morissette or some shit. Straight out of fucking Forrest Gump scene.
That's Jenny, honey. That's Jenny.
Yeah, you look like you could have been hanging out with Jenny's friend. You could have been like one of Jenny's friends or some shit like that. But you got that hippie vibe.
Well, my mother, actually my aunt.
Hella pot.
Well, let me tell you, my aunt looks like Cher. My mom's sister looked like Cher.
Okay, I can see that.
Had the long black hair, and she married a man that looked like Sonny. And he was shorter than her, not super attractive, but he worshipped her. He was so good to her.
Yeah, you definitely got the Cher vibes. You could be in that lane. Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see some Cher happening in the family.
Well, I might have to be Cher from Turn Back Time for Halloween.
Yeah, you should do that. That'd be dope. Waste of Time Podcast 499. Peace to you, Hotep and Wendy. Jean Core would love to have you on, Wendy. Yeah, hell yeah, y'all should definitely interview Wendy. That'd be dope. Shout out to Raider in the chat. He said we're gonna scale up Wendy. Yes, we are. We're gonna scale, and we're gonna do a lot of great things. We're gonna make Wendy a household name. We will, because Wendy, I'm a very interesting personality. Very, very interesting. I got a lot of, considering where I came from and the things that I have survived have been a little bit unique. And my mom used to hang out with all the musicians. And that's probably where I get my love for musicians, which I know to stay away from them. I learned, do not marry a musician, stay away from them. God, we bless music men in this house, but we stay away. High Yellow Fella says she looks like the mom from Addams Family. I'll take that too. Wendy is getting a little bit darker though. The lighting is not good in here, but I've been by the pool, so I am getting a little bit of color. You can't get darker. It's impossible for you. Oh wait, I forgot. You're a swarthy white.
I am a swarthy white. I'm going to send you a picture. I'm going to send you a picture of me, my two sisters, my grandma, and my grandpa. My grandpa he's dark.
I remember that picture you posted a while ago. I was like, yo, who is this, Wendy? And you definitely look darker in that image. But you look more orange, like Trump orange in that picture.
It's so funny. My husband, he goes, people on Twitter hate you because you're Trump. And he's all, they're going to keep hating you. And he's like, I love it. He's all, I love to see it. And you know what? They don't, the thing is, they don't understand when you tag me in something, it is pushing my analytics. It is pushing my numbers up. Yeah. It's pushing my Twitter. It's like, it just shut up.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, we need to talk about these stories. Okay. So
shout out to Halima checking in. I see Halima in the chat.
Shout out to Halima. All right. Do you want to talk about the Breaking 911 story?
Yeah, right after this commercial break.
Okay. August 26th through the 28th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Hotep Nation Weekend. The world will never be the same. Get your tickets and be a part of the first ever Hotep Nation Weekend. Hotep Nation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization designed to spread the philosophy of hard work and self-care, will be hosting a weekend in Vegas with live podcasts, panels, pool party, and much more. Exclusive meet and greets with major figures in the Hotep community, including Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep, President Doe Dudes, and other special guests. Network and build bridges in the Hotep community. Enjoy Vegas with a cool group of people. All of this can be found at the Hotep Nation Convention. So who is this for? Are you looking to build up your community? This is for you. Are you looking to expand business opportunities? This is for you. Are you looking for an opulent time with nation builders? This is for you. Hotep Nation's first annual convention in Las Vegas, this August 26th through the 28th. All information can be found in the description below. You won't want to miss this.
We're back.
All right, we good to go?
We're back.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about, well, first and foremost, you guys better go to Hotep's thing and support him. It's important to do so.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about this story. So this story came from Breaking 911. And anytime I read a story like this, it makes me more and more against the porn industry. It really, really does. I support people's kinks. I don't kink shame to an extent. Of course, there are some things I think that are not okay. But at the same time, I was always on the fence about it for a long time. But after I have matured and I've kind of looked back at some of the situations that I've been in life, and I actually had someone try to traffic me once, and I was able to not go through with anything. I was actually, it's a story for another time. But I was very young. It was a whole Hollywood thing. And when I look back as an adult, especially that I'm a mother of a young girl, I just kind of looking at all these stories about porn and the sex industry, and it's very disturbing. But this particular story, girls do porn actor convicted of sex trafficking is going to prison for 20 years. San Diego adult film performer and producer Ruben Andre Garcia was sentenced in federal court today to 20 years in prison for conspiring with the owners of the adult websites GDP and GDT to recruit young women to appear in sex videos for adult websites using force, fraud, and coercion.
It was on some hostile shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You ever seen that movie?
I have, and I cannot watch movies like that anymore because of some of my past trauma and some of the people that I do know that have gone through. I knew a girl that was kidnapped for like 3 days, and
wow.
It was someone I was very very, very close with, and yeah. it was really bad. So I can't watch movies like that anymore because it triggers me.
Yeah. Damn. So they was snatching up. These are underage girls too?
Yep, underage girls, women of all different backgrounds, and they were basically forcing them to do stuff. And what happens is and it's like I'm so on the fence.
20 years?
20 years.
That's it?
You know what? At this point, at this point, it's like, should people get the death penalty for this type? And I know this is like a kind of a hot topic to talk about, but at the same time, the type of damage that is, and I'm a survivor, just as anybody watching, for clarity, I'm not going to talk about, my personal background, but the type of damage this stuff does to young women is really irreversible. You can survive, you can, kind of cope, but those types of things that happen, you can't remove it. You can't ever unlive it or unsee that stuff or ungo through that experience. So people that are out there that are doing these types of things to both men and women, people underage or overage or whatever it is, it's like, is 20 years really enough for that type of trauma for someone to go through?
Say we donate their body to science. I think death is the easy way out.
Okay.
But, if they had to live life with, I don't know, pig ears for the rest of their life. Hey, try these pig ears on. Look, can we turn you into a chimera? You kind of just donate his body to science. That's what I feel should happen with these people.
I actually saw something very interesting about a chimera. A guy did a TikTok about it. I'm going to send it. If I can find it again, I'm going to send it to you. It was very, very, very interesting. And I learned a lot. But that's why I'm kind of like it's like now at this point with all this crazy stuff happening to people, it's like, the industry is just a bad industry. Like I feel bad because I know there are some people that's how they make their living. But at the same time, I feel like most of the people that are doing it, sometimes they're not really mature enough to understand the long-term consequences. Again, everybody is able to live their life as they see fit. But at the same time, you're breeding for a lot of people to go back into society when they do decide to quit doing whatever, and they're just not mentally stable.
Yeah. I just look at the type of people that get involved in that industry, and sometimes they've all had traumatic experiences as a child or a parent missing from their life. It usually seems like there's some sort of mental instability that pushes them to that lifestyle, which says something about the industry itself.
Yeah, it's like they're purposely going after people that are weak, that they can coerce, that they can manipulate. And with stories like this, it's like they're doing it by force. And it's very hurtful and it's sad to see. And I don't know, it's like I don't even have words for this type of stuff. Like, and I mean, the people that watch this stuff and are doing it too often, it desensitizes them. So they're able to go ahead, like people that are out there paying for sex or that are like just doing bizarre stuff like that or paying for this type of content, it turns into an addiction. And anybody that's watching, if you know somebody with addiction, or if you had an addiction, sometimes it spirals out of control where you can't stop and you need more, you need more, you need more. Like there's one of the biggest problems in the gay community is meth. And that coincides with, sex. And what happens is people will, I want to tell you, what happens is these people, they start using. And one of the things, I don't want to say side effect, but one of the things that kind of goes along with the community is a lot of sex and unprotected sex. And it just gets really out of hand. It gets crazy. A lot of things happen. I used to have clients, and most of my clients, and especially the younger ones that would come in and become diagnosed, because we would do the testing there at the same site I worked at, they were meth users. They were IV meth users or just like smoking it. And they would just start having all this crazy, insane, like sex parties, these orgies, all these things. And then they would become positive.
What's the meth for? Does it numb your booty?
It's kind of part of the culture in the gay community. Is it? It is. It's a big problem. And it was so sad because I would have clients and they would come in and I would talk to them and they would be like, oh, I'm sober this week. And I'm like, okay. And I would talk to them. I'd be like, you're amazing. You're doing good. Don't go back to it. You don't need it. Yeah. And then they'd come in to get their meds the next month and they would be on meth again. And I remember this guy, he would come in every month to get his meds. and he would come in and we would talk, and I would just say, I would just tell him, I'd be like, I love you. You're going to be okay. You can beat this. You can fight this. You don't have to go back to that life. I said, you matter. Like, I promise you. And like, we would have these conversations and he would just cry and he would hug me, and then he would leave, and then he would come back doing the same thing. And I had multiple patients like that. And it was just very, very heartbreaking and very, very sad. And it's like I walked with these people. They would come in and I would just walk with them and kind of hold their hand and just listen to their stories and their trauma. It was terrible.
You better than me, man. I'm glad you put that work in.
Well, I mean, they didn't have anybody else, so they had me.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I ain't strong enough for that.
Well, the hardest part was probably the hardest part of that job. Well, there was two hard parts. I won't talk about the hardest one because it involves young children. It involves a mother, actually. It was a very sad thing. But the second hardest part was watching my clients that would pass away, because it was never for HIV or AIDS. It was generally from suicide due to mental illness because of because of the HIV and whatnot.
Was it mostly male or female?
Oh, it was all male. It was, I worked in West Hollywood, so it was a gay community. But I did have some straight males that would come in, and very interesting enough, the men that would come in to get tested were generally men with a lot of money, and they were straight, but they were with prostitutes, and that were teased sometimes, or males. And they would say, oh, well, I didn't know, or, oh, they just did this, and it was just a one-time thing. I'm not GAY. That's why it's important to group people. You kind of have to pay attention to society. You have to pay attention into the community, different types of things. It was a crazy thing. I got stories on stories.
Delani Thompson, $20 Canadian dollars. You guys rock. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, homie. Black or white?
Both.
Hispanic?
That's a whole nother subgroup.
Indian?
Yes. Everybody.
Asian?
Oh, yeah.
Argentinian?
Everybody. The Hispanic community was a little bit different, and they were more unique because they were so much more diverse than the Black community and the white community and the Asian community. The Hispanic community was just a whole different. It was a bit of a learning curve, but I was able to navigate.
Wow, because you know their culture.
I had to learn about, the gay Hispanic culture. Because if I didn't listen, if I didn't learn, if I didn't pay attention to them, then I wasn't able to serve my patients correctly. And my whole purpose, of course, was to make sure they got their meds and to make sure they were adherent to their meds. But I needed to truly understand who they were so that I could be sympathetic and give them a shoulder and let them know that I'm here. I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
Hotep's like, I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, not me. Not me. No, thank you.
Anyways, next story. All right. So this just was posted today by the New York Times. It was actually posted today, 2 p.m. New York Times. Victoria's Secret is getting rid of its angels and wings. The company has hired new representatives, including soccer star Megan Rapinoe and actress.
I think.
Yeah, and actress Priyanka Chopra Jonas, as it tries to conduct one of the most extreme branding turnarounds in recent memory.
Yeah.
It goes on to further say, for decades, and I can't read the article, you have to subscribe and pay. I'm not going to give them my money. For decades, Victoria's Secret scantily clad supermodels epitomized the height of femininity for millions. Now the lingerie giant is not just trying to redefine itself, but also the very idea of what sexy is.
I think it's actually a brilliant move.
Okay, let's talk about it because I want to hear, because I have my initial thoughts, but I want to hear you break this down, and so I may change my opinion.
You're talking about a legacy brand with legacy money that has lost a good portion of the market. Still top dog. They still got the stores are still doing well in the malls from what I've seen with my own two eyes. And there's a chance here for them to catch up with where we are culturally here in America today. One of the things they said in the article was about Victoria's Secret was catering towards the taste of men, and now they're going to start catering towards the taste of women. And then they said they're going to start stocking items that were for like gastro something and maternity type stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You know what that's for, right? I think that's for the T people. But they're going full SJW. They're going full SJW. They're going full Marxist, leftist, inclusion, rainbow flag marketing. They're going to have Megan represent the rainbow community and go really like feminist with this thing here. And they said they want to be a woman's brand. So I think they might even just get away from the whole lingerie thing altogether and move into like this whole like pure woman's brand, pure woman, 2022 type woman vibe, feminist, LG, the whole thing. Yeah.
What vibe is that though?
The politically correct vibe.
But like what? Because the Victoria's Secret is Victoria's Secret is lingerie. It's bedroom stuff. When I am with my man on a trip, I want to buy something sexy. I want to, have the candles, be romantic. I want to feel sexy. I want to look sexy. That's what lingerie is for. I mean,
But I think China messed up the market for them because all the girls is opening up. I mean, look at the Instagram. Like every girl got her own lingerie now.
Okay.
Got their own lingerie brand. So lingerie became a market that they not only had to compete with other big dogs in, like Rihanna and what's the other one? Fashion Nova, right? Mm-hmm. And then like, whatever third lingerie brand there is out there. But they have more competition than they've ever had due to the internet. So they're like, why compete in that market when we could still have a piece of that market, but really have an opportunity to take over the entire female market. You look at brands like Ivy Park by Beyonce. Now she's moved into the sports apparel brand. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw workout gear come out of Victoria's Secrets.
They have workout gear.
They do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just broaden the brand to that effect more. You know what I mean? And just been like a whole like female emporium depot. It's not traditional to what we're used to with the Victoria's Secret brand. But for the business itself, I think it's a smart move. Because where do women go where they shop for everything in one place?
Target.
Exactly. They have no home. So Victoria's Secret has an opportunity to be that home, to be all things women. And they got the budget to probably pull it off.
I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. I agree with it. But at the same time, too, Victoria's Secret, the runway, the angels, it was iconic. I remember in the 2000s growing up, like me and my girlfriends, when I used to have female friends, I don't have a whole lot because I'm like a dude. But we used to watch that, and it was just so iconic for us to see these beautiful women that were just completely stacked, just walk down and be so confident. And to me, that's being a feminist, like just to feel comfortable in your own skin and just to walk down the runway. Then they started integrating other women of different types of body types, because back in the 2000s, and if any of you that are watching this and you didn't grow up, if you were not a teenager in the 2000s, low-rise jeans traumatized me. And the reason why they traumatized us is because that's what was in. If you were not wearing the low-rise jeans, you were not cool. And they had to be super low. And if you were not skinny, oh, the boys would make fun of you. The boys would make fun of you, and those jeans did not look good. And I've always had a little bit of chub on the side. This is just the way my body type is. So I just remember not eating. I remember having to make sure I look good because I had to look good for the boys in the band. But it was just always very iconic, and to me that was very feminine, especially when they started integrating women of with other body types. But I feel, and I get what you're saying, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like an end of an era. I'm a little bit sad about it.
Yeah, it's definitely an end of an era. I put up some information here on Ed Razik. This is 2019, August 6th at Revelist.com. And his resignation comes amid declining sales, boycotts from consumers and celebrities, allegations of cultural appropriation, and deeply horrifying connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Wow. And then also he had that statement about the tea people. He said, somebody asked, shouldn't you have tea people on the show? He goes, no, I don't think we should. He said, well, not. And he said, because the show is a fantasy, blah, 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 blah. And then he had to issue that apology. My remark regarding the inclusion of tea people in the Victoria's Secret fashion show came across as insensitive. I apologize. To be clear, we absolutely would cast a tea person for the show. We had tea persons come to castings, like many others. They didn't make it, but it was never about gender. I admire and respect their journey, embrace who they are. But that was the thing, like they weren't caught up with where the left was culturally in America. So they got themselves in hot fire. So it wasn't like they did a rebrand just to rebrand. They had to dig themselves out of a hole because of the bad taste they left in the mouth of the rainbow community. Which is why they brought on Megan Rapinoe. She represents. So she's like their saving grace. Look, we're friendly towards the rainbow people. See, Megan's my friend. We have gay friends. You know, it's that type of thing. That's a trick that they're pulling here, trying to get back in people's good graces because of all the negative publicity they got for being anti whatever.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can you culturally appropriate lingerie?
Can you culturally appropriate lingerie?
It's a valid question. I'm curious.
I need to hear some argument. I can't think of one. I need to hear somebody argue it, and then I could say that definitively, but I don't know how you do that.
I mean, I guess if you have a specific pattern.
I thought they were talking about the fact that they were stealing designs from Black women.
Oh, okay.
I could
that
be
makes
wrong,
sense
though.
then. That makes sense. I don't know, because when I heard cultural appropriation, I just thought, can you culturally appropriate lingerie?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I don't think these people know what they're talking about. They just be using words just to be using words because it's politically in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I just think they're trying to catch up to where they are. I think they're trying to catch up culturally, man.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that, and again, there is always stealing from other people and kind of not letting it known. I want to say that the Playboy costume was initially created by a Black woman, and I don't think she got credit for it until like recently, or people just didn't talk about it.
I didn't know that.
Look it up.
Wow, I gotta look that one up. That's interesting.
Did you see it?
No, I'll look it up. I ain't look it up now, but I'm gonna look it up. That's an interesting fact.
I think so. I think that she did the bun, because you remember the bunny costume when they had it. Yeah, I think that she created it. I think that she was the original designer, and I don't think she got credit for. Or I don't know the story, but I remember that. That's a very, very, very interesting thing. I think we have one more thing that we can kind of touch on before we get going, because it has been a long week. Oh, you can't play that because of the algorithm. But this guy basically made actually, is it this one? No, there's one more thing. Let me see. Okay, we can get rid of that.
But what do you feel about like the conversation around Victoria's Secret isn't really about Victoria's Secret. It's really about where we are as a nation culturally. And that is the future. Victoria's Secret is showing you their reaction to the future of America, of how the rainbows are essentially calling the shots. They're getting that preferential treatment. They're the new black. Like I was telling you before, you can't even be pro-black without being pro-T people, without being pro-rainbow people. So that comes before your even skin color now. And they've gotten a lot of power. And I think that's what a lot of this comes down to, is the power of the rainbow community.
I agree with you. And I just kind of want to say that if I come out and I say I support a specific community, then I support all of them. I'm not going to cherry pick and say, oh, well, I support this person, but not this person, because I feel like the entire community is valid. Everybody's got their own story. They've got their own journey. They've got their own, struggles and issues, because you have a community, and then you've got a culture, and then you've got like little subcultures that go with it. And this can be found in the Black community, the Italian community, Latino community, white community. I don't even really like the term white, because I feel like I guess you do have to classify people a certain way, but there's so many different types of white within white, and it's to kind of just say like, oh, all white people this, or all Black people this. It's not really accounting for all the different types of subgroups. And I feel that subgroups are important too. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm just, now I'm just pondering about this whole gender thing. And I'm like, well, if Victoria's Secret is catering to women, but women don't exist, who are they catering to? So I think this is just beginning to get interesting with Victoria's Secret. I think we're going to see more strange things happen.
So to keep it consistent, are we going to get rid of tampons and pads now?
I think. Well, what are you going to do if you get rid of them? Wait a second.
I don't know. I'm just trying to keep.
You have people who have their periods, and you have people who don't. We're just removing the label that used to be previously associated with those people, because it's offensive to other people. So they're now birthing persons and non-birthing persons. So birthing persons will have access to those, and you might be able to get those at Victoria's Secret. But my question is, if gender doesn't exist, who is Victoria's Secret catering to? I'm so lost. I'm so lost.
I'm so confused. I don't know. Like, let me tell you something.
It's like women don't exist, but we're going to cater this brand to women. And I don't know. It gives me a headache to think about.
Lingerie for your partner is empowering for me as a woman. It's empowering because I dress up, I feel sexy, I feel confident. I'm doing something nice for my man. I'm appeasing him. I feel like a good wife. I feel. See,
that's where you messed up right there. Doing something nice for your man. That's not allowed in 2021, Wendy. You're not supposed to like men. You're not supposed to do anything for a man. This is why the feminists are attacking you.
That's why they don't like me. Did you hear the new movement that it's kind of a joke though?
What?
Italian X. The Italian community is trolling. They're trolling.
So that's supposed to be like Latinx, but Italian X. Oh my God.
They're trolling because,
I love it. Anytime they troll, I love it, because it's just like, what are we doing here as a nation? Where are we going with all this, man? What? Come on, man. You know what I really think it is, man? They're trying to fucking do that whole Alex Jones transhumanism thing with the robots and whatnot. And yeah, it's just like preparing us to just be emotionless, sentient beings who don't care about anything and might even procreate with a robot. It's trying to sever all human connection. Yeah.
Can I change topics really quick? It was funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to send it to you, but I forgot. It was a TikTok, and somebody made it was a conservative that made a video of Nancy Pelosi. They're like, it has been 1 year since Nancy Pelosi wore the cloth.
What cloth? The Ghana cloth?
Yeah, whatever she wore that.
Yeah. I thought that was that for George Floyd or was that for Black History Month?
I don't know.
I remember that, man. That was so terrible, man. They got the Black Caucus and they taking a knee and they wearing the stuff from Ghana. Oh, that was a terrible time in Democrat politics.
I look back, you know what, Hotep, I look back at 2020 at some of the stuff that transpired, and I'm thinking to myself, what in the actual F did we live through? Like, listen, there's been some crazy things in history that people came out and they rioted, they stood up, they rebelled, they caused anarchy, they stood up for human rights, they stood up for some things, and they revolutionized and they changed the world. Yeah. And in 2020, I'm not denying what transpired. I'm not denying what happened. I'm not denying, the police brutality does exist, because it 100% does exist. My brother-in-law lost his life to it. But like, did we really do anything groundbreaking in 2020?
No. No. 2020 set us back as a nation. Yeah, it was a very terrible time. It was very eye-opening, though, to see the normies, to see the stuff that they fell for, politically and scientifically, things that went against common sense, the things that went against economic sense, the things that benefited the 1% and killed the poor, killed the entrepreneurs, all because everyone was scared of the bug. Nobody wanted to look at the numbers. Meanwhile, we're like, yo, you sure people are moving on because of the bug? And it's just, I don't know. Last year was a very, very interesting year.
I've never been to Europe.
You've never been to Europe? A white woman that's never been to Europe. God damn it, Wendy. You're a sellout. What is wrong with you?
I'm making fun of what's her face when she sat down. She's like, well, I've never been to Europe either. Is that what she said?
Oh, yeah, yo. Kamala, I've never been to Europe either. It's really embarrassing to be American. Mm-hmm. To know that it's just like people actually voted for these people and they thought that was a good choice because they didn't like the other choice. And it's like, now we're watching them do their job, and it's just like, y'all didn't see this coming. Y'all didn't see how terrible these picks were last year. Like, if this was fantasy football, we definitely picked the losing team. You're definitely losing your money in the tournament this year.
We lost the Super Bowl.
We lost the Super Bowl. All because y'all wanted to listen to the same corrupt media. Gullible, man. Gullible. You know what it is? It's beyond being gullible. It's not even trusting your own common sense. It's not even like, it's no objective thought and there's no use of common sense. Because objective thought would have put you in the middle and would have had you scrutinize each side fairly. And I don't think a lot of people did that. I think a lot of people went based upon service things. Oh, I don't like his tweets. Oh, I don't like the way he talks and all this other stuff. Really like menial, surface level, low hanging fruit. And it's like, well, who's going to be a better leader for the country? It's like, you're going to choose this guy who doesn't even know where he is, and this lady and the same dude that's got a huge, like, you saying one president is racist and the other one's passes, like, on paper, way more racist. And so it's just like, if y'all so concerned with racism, why'd you pick the more racist guy? It was the whole groupthink thing, man. Like, last year, she showed you how strong groupthink was.
Well, you want to know what it is? It's indoctrination of schools, in my personal opinion. And because in schools, in schools, we're taught critical thinking in school is reading a book and writing catered towards your professor, because you want to make sure that you cater towards your professor. And if you side with them, and if you can the kids that do well in school that may not necessarily be the smartest, but what they can do is they're street smart and they're good at reading people. So, and I used to do this, what I would do an assignment and I would say, well, this is what I really think, but I can't write this on paper because my professor thinks this. So I'm just going to write about, I'm going to manipulate it to where it makes sense for them and to where I get an A. And my writing was maybe not that good, but because it was aligned with their opinion, I passed and I got a good grade. And that's what critical thinking is. Critical thinking is no longer, I don't agree with this because of X, Y, and Z, and voice and explaining why you don't agree with it. Critical thinking is manipulating the situation and figuring out how to align with somebody to improve your situation instead of being brave and standing up and saying what you believe.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for tonight.
Yeah, the schools definitely. You know what it is? It's the school happens to be like an environment, a closed environment. So then, like, your workplace would be another like closed environment. And I think what happens is when you have these closed environments, there's a lot of fear of ostracization. So the group think swirls around in these environments really fast because, like, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to offend somebody, all these different things. So it gets reinforced in these little mini environments. And school happens to be one of those. The problem is it trickles down to the students. I remember my daughter came home and they were arguing about the whole Trump thing or whatever. And he just sat back and listened because I taught her well. I said, don't get involved in those conversations. One, you're not educated enough to talk about it. Two, whoever you're going to talk about it with is probably not educated either. It's a lot of opinions and not enough facts. She sat back and listened. And she said, but it got heated. She said it got pretty heated in class between some of the students and the teacher because some of the students were actually MAGA. And they're like, yo, like, what are you talking about? And they started laying out shit. And I was like, hey, it gets real. But the teacher was definitely on one side. And as a teacher, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right in the educational forum. I think teachers, if anybody, must exude and exemplify and demonstrate objectivity. I think it has to be the educational instructor. You see, the thing is, in education, it's not about what you think. It's about how you think about things and the values, right? The values is what's missing from these schools, the moral values. And that's really what they've come after first.
I agree. And I see it's very sad because I feel like your job as a teacher is to empower your students to think. And just because they have a different, and you also have to understand, if you're a teacher, you are fostering kids from all different backgrounds, you know, especially with the public school system, because you're going to be in a community and there's going to be people from all different, people maybe immigrated here, or they, first generation, second generation, third generation, they're different races, they have different cultures. And your job is to foster these ideas, to have your students introduce their backgrounds and introduce who they are and their thought process. and just really just teach them decency and allow them to express their opinion in a very polite, respectful, decent way, but not to hinder them, because when you hinder a child, all it does is it stifles their innovation, and it makes them not be, it kind of just stifles what they can achieve in the future. And that's not okay, because we want to have individuals grow up and achieve greatness, because when you have individuals grow up and achieve greatness, then that says a lot about your country or your community, your city, your state. And if we don't have these kids growing up to be confident and to be able to express their opinions and create their own thoughts and critically think, then we have lost, your community lost.
Yeah. I think it's important that when we talk to the kids, we don't do the whole right and wrong thing. And I'm not saying it on some SJW stuff, you know, because in math, there is definitely right and wrong. In science, there is right and wrong. So not in those situations, but I'm just talking about, you know, some of these philosophical conversations. There shouldn't be any right and wrong. What we should want is for the child to supply the evidence to back their claim. If the child can rationalize why they think the way they do, and then be challenged on that, to me, that's passing. Not necessarily in a passing grade, but in that conversation, is this a thinking? Because sometimes I talk to my kids about things and they say things I don't agree with, and I'm like, well, explain yourself. And then they explain it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty damn good thinking there, right? I didn't think about it from that angle. But had I not asked them to explain themselves, I would just think, oh, this kid doesn't know what he's talking about, he's wrong, right? But that's what I think you got to do. You gotta have them open their minds and really support what they believe, because that's really what's going to make a difference in this world. Is, you know, some people, you say, well, why did you vote that way? And they're like, oh, just because I don't like the other guy. And it's like, nah, you got to be able to support your argument out here, you know? So I think we got to raise kids that could do that as well.
So Hotep Jesus said men do not have time to be happy, but I just saw Hotep Jesus be happy for a slight second. And the reason why Hotep Jesus was happy for a slight second is because he was reflecting back on one of his children bringing up a conflicting point of view, thinking for themselves and being able to express their opinion. And that is when a man can be happy.
The only time a man's allowed to be happy is when he's dealing with his friends or sex. Friends, family, and sex. That's the only time a man's allowed to be happy.
Okay.
Everything else is a fleeting moment. Happiness is for women. Women and children get to enjoy happiness. Men don't have the luxury of enjoying happiness. We've got rocket ships to build, planets to conquer, moons to build. Those are the facts, Wendy.
Do you have anything else before we get going?
Tomorrow night, Hotep's been told you, me and Uncle Hotep is going down.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh man, we got so much to talk about. We got to talk about the FBI in the 6th. What else is in here? Juneteenth got recognized as a holiday. Can you do
me a favor and explain that to me? I would want to learn from you instead of reading some BS on the internet.
What?
June 15th.
Oh, Juneteenth?
Or Juneteenth.
Oh, let me Google it. I think this started out in Texas. Yeah, here it is. Celebrating the emancipation of those who have been enslaved in the United States, originated in Galveston, Texas, is now celebrated annually. Yeah, this was a Texas holiday, and it made its way around to the other free Negroes of the United States of America. They celebrate the day that the white man stopped putting his foot on our neck, allegedly.
In Texas only?
Well, it started in Texas.
Okay, so they're not going to. Okay.
Yeah. It's not something that I celebrate, and it's not something that I'm against people to celebrate. You know, motherfuckers want to celebrate the shit. Fucking, you know, knock yourself out. You know, I just want to know: is it an MLK holiday or a Malcolm X holiday? Is it Is it a paid vacation day or not? That's all I need to know. These are the details that have been sidestepping us, and I just need to know.
Okay, so you need to know if you need to get childcare for those particular days because the kids are going to be home from school.
I need to know if I'm getting a check. Are we getting a check? You know what I'm saying? That's what I need to know. We need some reparations in this bitch.
You know what? I can get behind that. I support that. I want to see Hotep Jesus thrive. So whatever it's going to take to get Hotep Jesus to thrive, I support it.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, is it a day that America gets off? If it's not a day America gets off, is it really a holiday?
You should tweet that.
I mean, seriously, like, name one holiday that people celebrate that you don't get a day off. You get a day off for all of them.
I don't get a day off for National Pizza Day.
Well, that's not a holiday.
I need to eat pizza. I'm Italian, okay?
Oh my God, here we go. Y'all got to work
Italian X.
Oh man, 4th of July you get off, Labor Day, Memorial Day, Father's Day and Mother's Day is on Sundays. What else?
Oh, when is Father's Day?
See, y'all don't know. I don't care about us, man. It's Sunday, man.
This Sunday?
This Sunday.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh boy.
Oh no. No.
You done messed up. No. You done forgot about us.
No, it's not.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I'm getting canceled.
You didn't get something, did you?
Oh, hell no.
It's there? You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Bonaside Mookie Mooks. Much love to you too. Thanks for all the truths. Ever heard of a dog man? It's a crazy world. He said it's just, I just need to know if Juneteenth is going to be a day off or is it a fake holiday. That's all I want to know.
Okay. Well, when you find out, let me know. All right, you guys. Hotep, thank you so much for actually, you're welcome for letting me, I forgot what I was going to say. This is my show. This is my show. You're welcome.
That's what you get. It's a pleasure. Right. It's a pleasure to have you.
We will see you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. PST, and hopefully we'll see what's going on. We'll see if I get canceled by the feminists. They're trying to cancel Wendy right now. Let's keep it going. Keep boosting my analytics. All right, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to Hotep's channel, drop the likes, don't grift, and make sure you watch Hotep and Uncle Hotep tomorrow night because I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining.
Quite festive.
Bye. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to Hotep's channel, drop the likes, don't grift, and make sure you watch Hotep and Uncle Hotep tomorrow night because I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining.
Quite festive.